Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the Political Governor himself, Zealeus.
Good evening, Mr. Charlie. How do you do on this lovely day?
I do fine.
Is it a lovely day?
Actually, the weather is quite unpredictable in Atlanta.
You never know. You'll be like driving through a torrential downpour, and then 5 seconds later it'll be sunny outside. Like, what the hell just happened?
Yes, that's basically...
It's been an interesting couple of days of rainstorms and sun.
Yes.
Usually, or sometimes it'll be like pouring on you, and you see like sun. It's like, this isn't right. This is not right.
Today was all about sun showers.
Sunshine.
It's bright blue skies, and yet rain is falling on my
Which
head.
is annoying because then it's just humid as heck outside. You step outside and it's like you're in a sauna. And not the fun kind.
Indeed.
Indeed.
All right, so as we previously stated, that of course is Zealeus and I am Charlie, and we are Ultra Fusion, and this is the Thursday Night Hangout. So let's get right into things, shall we?
Indeed. Let us.
All right, so the first topic is something that Zealeus holds close to his heart.
I don't know if I would say close to my heart exactly.
Okay, so funny story. Zealeus bought WildStar day one, and like the next day, or like the next like 3 days later, you moved.
Yes, and I didn't go back to it. So like, I lived up in Minnesota previous to my current stint in Atlanta. I was super psyched about WildStar because I'm a MMO person, and so WildStar came out. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome, great, spectacular, fantastic. I played the game for like 4 days, moved from Minnesota to Atlanta, and haven't really picked it up since, to be honest. And I just wasn't entertained by the game. It just didn't hook me in like some other games did. And I think it's because it seemed like it was trying to basically regurgitate what other MMOs have already done. Just a little more spit shine on it, which most MMOs are basically spit shines of their predecessors. But that game...
It doesn't sound very hygienic.
It was not a hygienic
Everyone's just
experience.
running around spitting on games.
So,
loogies.
WildStar did not keep me entertained, but the point of this whole discussion is, did you already say that it's going free to play? I don't remember.
No, well,
I don't really listen to
right
it.
here. It says right here, free to play.
Oh, WildStar to go free to play. So in the trend of basically every MMO that ever comes out, except for Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, is going free to play.
And Eve.
You're right, yeah. Eve's never going free to play, I think.
No.
So basically it's going free to play. There's not a whole lot of details out yet as far as the exact details as far as the free to play goes, but I would anticipate that they will still have the subscription model where for probably the same subscription money that you're paying now, you can still be a subscriber and get perks like EXP boost, mounts, basically
Extra storage space.
Oh yeah, definitely extra storage space, more bank storage. When you're crafting stuff, the game heavily utilizes like this. So if you're crafting equipment, so gathering is pretty straightforward. You go out, you gather stuff, no big deal. But if you're crafting, say, a new sword, what happens is you need to get basically combine materials into refined resources. What happens though, so you combine these resources, you have this like circle, and somewhere on that circle, like this little sphere grid, you have to maybe get like right here to produce your wood. So you have different elements that you combine to get them on there, and you get it on there, but it's also percentile based. So that'd be I think a pretty safe assumption that by becoming a subscriber, those percentages of getting your wood right there with your two combined elements to create what you're trying to go for will be greatly increased. So that would definitely be my assumption, is that crafting will become much easier when you're dealing with percentages. So yeah, but otherwise, typical MMO free-to-play stuff of better stuff if you subscribe.
I know I don't have to mention it, but hello, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
From Nerdburger. Which, by the way, Nerdburger just released a new podcast. You should definitely check it out. Okay.
And Charlie asked if I was going to go back to WildStar, and as I mentioned online, the answer is probably not. I did not stop playing WildStar due to financial constraints or because it was because you had to have a monthly subscription. I just simply wasn't entertained by it. So right now I'm at Final Fantasy XIV Heaven Sword, and chances are when I get bored of that, which I'm sure I will at some point again, I'm probably going to move on from MMOs for a little while. I know I say that.
Stop playing an MMO? Someone!
I know. I say that every time, and I go back anyway. So I get sucked in. So I'm probably.
Well, we need to find something. We need to find use something to continue your obsession with MMOs?
Well, I have a while to still play Final Fantasy XIV, so that's not going away anytime soon. Don't worry.
Okay.
The world will not stop rotating on its axes because I stopped playing my MMO in the next 6 months.
Okay, speaking of Final Fantasy XIV, I know this is off topic because we're talking about WildStar right now, but
It's in the MMO world.
this is true. So my question for you is, are you to a point where you feel comfortable maybe streaming some of the side quests and the new content?
No.
No.
Okay, so Heaven Sword, the expansion, you get to level 60.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at level 53.
Okay. 7 levels to go.
Yep, and Heaven Sword is pretty big in that your dungeon/instances, where you want to call them,
Mm-hmm.
they are storyline driven.
Okay.
So streaming stuff from those dungeons could potentially spoil the storyline for people who have not done that yet, especially like the main storyline quests.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Sad day.
I know, and I haven't quite played as much FF14 as I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
Because last weekend I was at Dragon Con all weekend.
Dragon Con!
Dragon Con! Are we good to move on from WildStar?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go right on.
So last weekend was Dragon Con. Basically, the crux of Dragon Con, it was a 4-day convention in the Atlanta area of all things geekdom and nerddom related. I learned, unbeknownst to me, apparently in the United States, there's no official, at least large-scale, Middle-earth / Lord of the Rings convention.
Interesting.
Large scale. I'm sure there's smaller ones.
Right.
There's no like larger convention. So, and I learned this from a former actually convention host, not at Dragon Con, but another one up in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
And that's when I was talking to her about this. It was about 10,000 people convention she used to hold.
Mm-hmm.
And she said apparently Dragon Con has become kind of the unofficial Middle Earth convention.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense because in looking at the shows that the musical acts that they host, it's a lot of Irish and Celtic music,
okay.
Which very much is in the theme of Lord of the Rings style music. It's kind of that Celtic style music.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of found that interesting that it's kind of become that unofficial type of convention in terms of getting your Hobbit fix in terms of panels they can go to, and also, of course, the musical acts.
Okay.
But the one kind of game-related thing that I did play there was a game called Werewolf. Basically, it's a deception-based card game. So basically, you play with people, and every person in the game gets dealt a card, and you're either a werewolf or you're not a werewolf. And basically, the non-werewolves are trying to kill the werewolves, and the werewolves are trying to kill everybody else and survive to the very end. And it kind of goes in rounds, and you're lying about who you are, because obviously, if you're the werewolf, you want other people to know who you are, and vice versa.
Obviously.
So it's a deception-based game.
Right.
And so what's going on with that is there's a very large group of werewolf players in the Atlanta area, and via Kickstarter, they're trying to get a convention going called Decepticon. So basically, out of the big-time werewolf players out of Dragon Con, they're like, hey, we need to do this again. And so some of the people who are playing decided, hey, let's try to do a convention in the Atlanta area 6 months outside of Dragon Con. And so, February 27th, 28th, they're trying to raise $750 to go towards, basically that money is going purely towards renting out a convention hall / room at, I forget what hotel, it's in the Atlanta area, I know that. But basically all the money for that convention, it's going straight towards basically hosting the convention.
Let's see if we can find
Yeah, I know it said it on there. I know I saw it on there what hotel it is. Because they wanted to make it easily accessible by the airport. Because they were going to anticipate people potentially flying
the Atlanta Airport Marriott.
There you go. So Atlanta Airport Marriott, and they said $650 to rent it out for Saturday and Sunday. And I imagine the extra money raised will go towards other things like, you know, well, they can't really sell booze.
No.
But the point is the money, it's all about trying, and it'll be different than other potential conventions because if they rent it out, then potentially you don't have to buy tickets to go. You know, you just go there and you just have fun for the weekend because it's already been rented out for the weekend. So if you're interested, and they also will have other deception types of games, potentially like Coup or Resistance or other games where you're supposed to be lying through your teeth. So if you're interested in any kind of deception games, check out Decepticon. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm going to start talking about Transformers.
I know. That's exactly what I was like, my God, this is Transformers. Which, of course, is like center in my brain right now because my son is Well, he's about to have a Transformers birthday party on Saturday. So
okay, so it's funny that you say that it is a great game. So a little backstory at AndoCon, Turley and I played Werewolf.
a form of werewolf.
A form of Werewolf, and I thought it was the absolute worst game I've ever played. I was like, this is terrible. Why am I playing this? And my friend Natalie, she's like huge into Werewolf. She's probably one of those people who's going to be backing the Werewolf on Kickstarter. I'm like, this is terrible. She's like, all right, just try one game. Played it, and the game version we played was really fun. Basically, it turns out there's two different versions. There's One Night Werewolf, where basically you have one round to figure out who's who. And then there's the version that we played, which is basically you have rounds and rounds and rounds, and people continuously get killed off. Which could turn into our case to games that last an hour and a half to 2 hours. Especially if you make it to the end. But yes,
I always got found out immediately because by the point that we were playing at AndoCon, I was so tired.
That probably did not help our cause, to be fair. I think we were so tired at that point where games just in general were not fun anymore. Yeah. So yeah, that's Decepticon. Check it out. It'll be fun, deception-based games.
Okay, if you like tower defense games.
Tower defense games! Oh my god!
There is a new game that just came out, and I swear to God, it literally has like every single type of enemy possible in the title. And that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is Attack of the Alien Robot Monsters.
That's quite a mouthful. It can't be aliens, it can't be robots, it can't be monsters. You have to have all three. And it's like a bad Doctor Who mashup that, of course, only Moffat could write. I'm just saying.
So, anyways, we're going. It just released today. It's on Steam. I believe it's for $5.99 right now. It's also on iOS and Android. The iOS and Android versions are free with in-game purchasing, which to me, not really researching extensively, what that basically means is you've got like a demo version, and I'm sure that if you like it, then you pay for it.
You maybe get like the first 5 levels free, and then you can pay more.
Right.
Or my other guess that I've seen in other tower defense games like that is you're limited to the number of troops you can unlock.
Oh, that's true.
And then if you want like the troops you actually need to win the game with, then you have to pay.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're about to show you a quick trailer of Attack of the Alien Robot Monsters. So here we go. Yeah!
Party on, Wade!
Oh, I actually have to turn on the volume.
Okay, it looks like basic tower defense so far.
Yep.
It kind of looks like the turrets from StarCraft. Actually, it really looks like StarCraft, to be honest.
It's I mean, I can kind of see it, but it's definitely a different art style than StarCraft.
Well, I think as far as like
Space Marine!
the tearing places that the Marines hang up in.
So not only do you have these towers at your disposal that you can upgrade, but you also have units like the Space Marine, like the Spec Ops, and these heavy guys, which are
StarCraft characters.
Attack of the Alien Robot Monsters,
AKA ARM. From Craftix.
Yep.
Okay.
Craftix. I think there's 2 versions out there. I think there's one for hey, there's me. I think there's one for you can get like just the game, or you can get the game and the soundtrack. I can't remember. There's so many things bleeding in my head. I mean, there's a bunch of
I really hope it's not bleeding. That'd be kind of creepy, and
that would be creepy.
Probably gonna go see a proctologist if that were to happen.
Proctologist?
I just say you're paying attention.
Zealeus is odd. Okay. All right. So, tower defense game, ARM. It's out today. Go get it if you
are. You interested in tower defense game? Do you play tower defense games?
I do on occasion. I'm not. See, here's my issue. In my opinion, it takes a special type of tower defense game or any type of game that requires strategy for it to actually be strategy and not so much just on random ass luck. And I feel like there's a ton of tower defense games out there, but I feel like there are so many out there that are just, to get through a level, you just got to be freaking lucky as hell. And that doesn't interest me.
I can see that.
I'm also not looking for a game that's going to, is so damn difficult that I want to pull out all my hair.
That, and I played the hell out of the original tower defense games when it was on like Congregate.com.
Congregate.
Oh, yes. The website we love to block.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got one more video for you, and this one, of course, is not really an indie title, but I do want to bring it up because it is ambitious. I will say that. It is very ambitious, and that, of course, is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is the augmented reality version of Pokemon coming out in 2016, where you will be able to utilize your phone, and if you're really in the mood, you can get the Pokemon Go Plus, which is a Bluetooth-enabled device that will start vibrating when you get close to wild Pokemon. You push a button, and you can attempt to capture a Pokemon.
Let's watch the video.
Yes, let's watch the video, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what Pokemon Go has for us.
The Pokemon Company.
Dun dun dun.
By Nintendo. Where's Mario?
That's the company that did what the hell
is there sound?
Yes, sorry. For some reason it's defaulting to mute. In the real world, Android and iOS devices.
Wait, is this like this requires going outside?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Augmented reality. You got to travel to find the Pokemon.
I don't.
Now you can find the Pokemon. There's Pikachu. Of course, you can't see it in real life unless you have VR glasses. But oh, Charizard.
Actually, this would be really cool if it worked with Google Glasses.
Yes, it would. That would actually be really awesome if it did do Google Glasses. And you can trade Pokemon.
Oh no, you're under attack. See, here's what I'm confused about.
What's that?
I get what augmented reality is, but how are you actually seeing this like in your field of vision?
They're making it all fancified. You would only get indications on your phone or on your Pokemon.
But it's not going to look like that because augmented reality, you have to have like some kind of vision apparatus to actually
No, you don't. Nope.
What is it?
Augmented reality means that you are moving around in reality and something that is not really there is there. There's a game called
but the way that they're
Ingress.
showing it is I'm actually going to see in my field of vision the Pikachus and all that stuff.
And that is total BS fantasy.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
No. You'll get, like I said, you'll get the notification on your Bluetooth thing. You're not going to see it in Times Square.
And that's where, like, if you had Google Glasses, if it's somehow integrated into that, then that would be the augmented reality they're looking at.
That would be awesome. If there was some kind of...
You know what? That's what saved Nintendo, man. Make a peripheral vision device that you can play Pokemon on. And
that's going to be the new Nintendo.
There we go. We just solved the riddle.
No, the new Nintendo is going to be VR based. See?
It's certainly ambitious. I'll give him that.
It is very ambitious. See, here's my issue, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell us your issue, sir.
My issue with Pokemon Go, it sounds like an amazing concept. The problem is...
You have to go outside and talk to people?
No, you don't have to talk to people. You could just literally be within a field, a range of another individual, and you can fight Pokemon. You never have to talk to them.
Oh, good. No human interaction.
But here's my issue. There's got to be some kind of single-player aspect to it. Some way of like training and leveling up your Pokemon. That entire video was based on... Yes, you exploring your real world to find the Pokemon, but when you're battling other individuals.
I would think so, because like I'm sitting right now, say I'm at home, sitting at my condo.
Yeah.
If I don't have anybody like within my whatever range of Pokemon engaged,
right?
Does it mean I just can't play now?
Right. That's my question. Because the way that they're building it up is that you can interact with other individuals who are also Pokemon trainers in the real world. The problem is, let's say you're in an area It's the same as like trying to play a big name MMO and you don't know anybody and you're kind of hesitant to jump into the deep end with random party members. So you just kind of run out of game at some point, and
I would think that there's some kind of aspect that you don't actually have to interact with people.
I also want to know what the price point is.
Especially if you get the Bluetooth dongle.
Yes. Or in terms of the augmented reality, are they, because I know that some games out there are utilizing the phone's camera to make things appear that aren't actually there.
Yes.
So could you be like holding up your phone and, let's say I'm in the middle of the forest and I'm holding up my phone and I'm seeing the forest and I'm also seeing, I don't know, I can't think of a Pokemon off the top of my head, but let's say that I could see the Pokemon there.
Well, that's basically Skyview.
Right.
That's what Skyview is. So yeah, if you're holding it like in front of you, yes, there is that. And I would hope that'd be cool if they had some element of that incorporated into it.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, what do you, Oh Say My Name, Oh, has already gone out on the record and said it looks freaking sweet. And it does. I just, I don't know. I think I'll have to actually see it in true action to believe.
But if you think about
it could potentially be very expensive.
So you think of like, say potential revolutions and how we play and interact with our video games.
Right.
Nintendo is really the first forerunner when we got into the whole area of non-Guitar Hero related peripherals in terms of their motion controls.
Yep.
So they really got that whole movement going with the Wii of now getting your ass out of your seat and playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're talking about with Nintendo, and they've shown that you've done it before. And now potentially you're talking about another revolution with the way you interact with your video games in terms of the aspect of augmented reality. And there's been other video games that have tried doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and have done it. There are other augmented reality video games. You probably just never actually heard of them.
Eye of the Beholder was
was
a type of augmented reality game that utilized the the PlayStation Eye, that you had these playing cards, and it would, when the card was in the view of the eye, it would create a 3D model on your TV. Yeah.
But potentially Nintendo certainly could do it again. I wonder if they can do it again and really kind of revolutionize how you interact with your video games through Pokemon Go.
Right.
If I'm going to trust a gaming company to do it, Nintendo's going to be near the top of the list.
Oh, absolutely.
Of somebody who's not getting totally screwed up.
Well, I agree that there needs to be a single player base. It does, and I think, and to be honest with you, if any of the big three were going to do it, I think I have the most faith in Nintendo. That being said, I still think that it's going to take something special.
Oh yeah.
For it to actually.
But if you think of all the Nintendo games out there, Pokemon is probably the one that lends itself the best towards this, I think.
Well, to be honest with you, in my honest opinion, Pokemon is the only reason why Nintendo's still able to have a dedicated handheld without the need to have a movie player, an MP3 player, the phone built into the model. And now, of course, Nintendo has basically said that we will allow our games to be ported and maybe even some new original IP to be on mobile devices, which I think that's a smart move for Nintendo, because Nintendo needs to continue. If they want to stick around, they need to increase their user base. I think that it's kind of gone a little bit stagnant, because I don't want to say it's novelty games, but it's a specific type of game that's showing up on the Wii and the Wii U, because the controls are so different.
It's basically,
and also because the graphics are lower than the current generation.
It's basically Mario Kart, and Pokemon.
Zelda.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a few very specific
Smash Brothers.
Nintendo-specific games, but outside of that, why would you have a Nintendo?
Mm-hmm. I agree. Thank you, Craig. So I'll be very. They just said 2016. I don't know the.
In time for Christmas.
It's not going to be time for Christmas.
Of 2016.
That could be. Okay. Let's see. Say my name. And to have a 3D model like that, it would just be incredibly expensive. However, Nintendo has not been doing as great as other next-gen systems, so it is also questionable whether or not to take a chance on something like this rather than a console version. To be I'm going to go a little bit into what we do, and it's called the destruction of the game industry as we know it. The concept of the console is dead. For better or for worse, you're looking at the vast majority of gamers now are looking for bite-sized games on the go. That's not to say that there's a ton of people out there who love MOBAs, who love RPGs, who live for MMOs or first-person shooters, but if you make it accessible, where individuals can pop in and out of a game whenever and wherever they are, they're more likely to. That game is more likely to catch on, for better or for worse, because there's some really shitty games that catch on.
Flappy Birds.
Freaking microtransaction. Well, Flappy Birds is a whole different ball game, but
I say, which actually reminds me of. So we're talking about the death of the dedicated console.
Right.
Is you also kind of have almost the reverse going, where you have so Apple had their. I don't know what their official name for the conference was this week.
Some Apple.
But it wasn't
show.
like the big one, but it was one of their conferences. And one of the things they announced is the new Apple TV. And one of their big pushes for the new Apple TV is going to be that you can play video games. You can already play video games in the Apple TV, but it's a really big deal that they're going to try to make the Apple TV into is now also going to be a video game console at the same time as doing all of your normal video game streaming.
Well, I mean,
so it's kind of going
sense.
both ways, where they're trying to get all that audience.
Well, I mean, they're basically jumping into the. I don't want to say it's not the exact same market, but they're basically going with the same model of what Microsoft and Sony are doing. They have a media-centric device that also plays games.
Yes.
Apple TV has definitely been established as a very solid streaming device. So why not add a gaming aspect?
Well, it also gives, I think, an incentive for people who maybe had a first-gen Apple TV now, and now you're getting the new Apple TV coming out, and with better specs and yada, 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 and now all of a sudden, like, hey, maybe there's that little bit extra bit incentive to go purchase it.
Right.
Or vice versa. If they're looking at maybe the Xbox One or the PS4 and they're on the fence, maybe now they have a reason to get the new Apple TV. Because like, oh, hey, now I can play video games, sure. And maybe, you're not going to have like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty on the Apple TV.
No.
But you're still going to have some video game. You know what? I almost going to see it, I think, as far as video games, almost like a Ouya.
Well, that's exactly
what I think it's going to be like a Ouya.
A successful Ouya.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. I mean, they have a built-in market, obviously, with the Apple TV, and it's an Apple product.
Right.
It's the Ouya with better everything.
Well, the thing is, they already have an entire library. It's not like they're just going, oh, now we're going to start doing games. All right, developers, come throw your games at us.
Yep.
I'm almost 100% sure that any game that can be played on any of your Apple devices, it's probably going to be native to the Apple TV. They've already said that, if I'm understanding correctly, I believe that you can actually utilize your Apple device to be like a controller.
I didn't read that much about the Apple TV because I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to buy one, so I didn't really read much.
Nor mine.
I mean, I have a Roku, so I'm like, I don't really need another streaming device because for me, it's kind of like, for me personally, I have a streaming device, a Roku. You really don't need that much horsepower for a streaming device.
No.
So I'm pretty much set. If I'm going to get a gaming device, guess what? I'm not getting an Apple TV. I would get an Xbox One or upgrade my PC's graphics card. But at the same time, I definitely think, I mean, it makes sense for Apple. It's been 3 years since they've refreshed their Apple TV. And it basically brings up to the same specs as basically the new iPad Pro. Which, yeah.
Osama Nemo says, I think if they found a way to make a cheap pair of Google glasses that could connect to a device wirelessly, that would be an ideal strategy to bring back Nintendo's audience.
Here's the problem with the Google Glass idea, is it's fine great, but you still need, with where they are with the micro architecture as far as hardware, you still have to have something that those head glasses are connecting to. Any of those headgear pieces that Google or anybody else is making, it's still connecting to a brain somewhere else. In the end, because it's...
Well, that's what they're saying. If it would connect to a device.
But what device? Because the problem is you also have to have full access to that device. I don't see Nintendo making a headset device that's going to connect to, say, an iPhone or Android, because Nintendo's always been a closed system. And frankly, Nintendo doesn't have a big enough mobile device market to really, I think, justify making a mobile glass market.
No. You're looking at it really weird.
Okay.
Look, you would, if to make it successful, there would have to be a standardized SDK, software development kit, and it wouldn't be just exclusively for those glasses. That's the only way you could do it. If you made it the Nintendo augmented reality VR glasses, it's not going to work.
But that's what Nintendo does. They don't do open SDKs.
What they've just opened up the door and said, "Hey, mobile devices, you can have some of our games."
Yeah, in very specific prescription by Nintendo. It's not like they just open up the entire floodgates of Nintendo and
they want to make
catalog.
Okay, well, part of it is that they want to make sure that the game is of quality. They're not just going to say, by the way, you can play all of our games through an emulator that we have no idea if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, I don't see Nintendo being that company that's going to make the Google Glass.
I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be a third-party, general augmented reality VR glasses that will work with the system. I think Nintendo will allow for that option to. I think it's going to be like the Oculus or the Vive or whatever other, or Google Glasses. Or,
I still think it's going to be a Google Glass when they resurrect the program, because they're already in basically the second version of the beta on the Google Glass.
What's the Microsoft one? Microsoft came out with something like that, right? They came out with like an augmented reality glasses.
I don't know what it is.
They showed it off somewhere. Hold on, let me see here.
I don't remember that one.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, these are ancient. Holy crap.
Give me the most recent, damn it.
I know. Let's try VR. No, this is them by. No, whatever.
Everybody's tried their hands at the glasses, but so far, at least, Google's been the most successful with their headpiece. Not to say the game...
But they discontinued it.
What?
But they discontinued it.
They're going to come out with another version of it.
Well, right.
They've already said that... I mean, it's been in perpetual beta. They're still going to come out with something else.
Say My Name says, no, I know it would have to be connected to a device, and I believe with all of Nintendo's success, they have the people to come up with the unique things that, like the Wii, I think they would be able to pull it off. Okay, see, here's my issue. If Nintendo were to spearhead this, it might be the Wii all over again. The Wii was a success, but not in the way that they first anticipated. The problem is, if with the Wii, is that everyone picked up on the gimmick, and then you had shovelware on shovelware on shovelware, and a lot of the bigger name publishers were scared away. I don't know if that will be the same case if they were to come out with. The other thing is this would be a peripheral. This would not be their centerpiece, and that enters a very different audience, because you've got. This is one of the biggest hurdles for all the VR devices out there right now. Like the Oculus, like the Vive, like Google Glasses, like HoloLens. That's what it is. It's HoloLens by Microsoft. Is that right now they're all on their own architecture. They're going through their own software interface. If you want it to be a staple, to be basically mainstream for gaming, there has to be that common connection, that common software development kit, which I don't know if the developers would have the cojones to try to do that, but something's going to have to give. If they really want this to succeed, there's got to be a common thread.
Well, at least for the Google Glass aspect, as far as bringing around, it's still a hardware issue at this point.
Oh, right.
It's not just, do we have the software for it? I've used the Google Glass, and it's actually pretty cool. I at least had fun, but it's just not quite there yet. They're trying. They have been trying. I've used it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to pay like $600 for the beta.
All right, as we continue to give you some topics, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, if you have any topics you'd like to throw our way, we are more than willing to, basically jump ship and then chit-chat about what you would like for us to bring up. Very popular questions from every single one of our shows, of course, is what's our favorite genre game? What are we currently playing? So let's get that out of the way real quick. I'm an action-adventure RPG type of person, though I do a lot of point-click adventures because that's what a lot of independently developed games seem to go for. Real quick, Alter Confusion is an independent video game review website. We review exclusively independently developed games. We know there's a ton of AAA title games out there that are being reviewed and marketed out the yin-yang, but there's some amazing games that independent developers are making that deserve the love and attention, and so we're trying to give them a little bit of that. I'm not an MMOer, though I do dabble. I do, for some gosh darn reason, jump into the deep end from time to time and then get really depressed when I can only get to like level 12 before I have to lean on someone, and I don't do that very well. Has there been any announcement of Ni no Kuni 2? Not that I know of, but that would be freaking awesome. That was the game.
I don't know what that is.
It was the anime studio, Studio Ghibli, partnered with, oh my god, who the hell did they partner with? Like a really stud-filled, like a Japanese RPG.
To the Google!
No, I just need to, I reviewed this one. Wrath of the White Witch. It is by Level 5.
Oh, very Jinx.
Level 5. I mean, God, that would be awesome if they bring out another one. And that, I would be very interested to see if they do come out with the second one, if it's a PlayStation exclusive. If it is, I'm going to be really sad because I don't think that I'm going to be able to get a PlayStation 4.
You think you're stuck with the X-Bone?
I am. That's my console. I don't really.
You got a TV down here.
I don't see a reason for me to have two media-centric devices.
You can still play video games on them.
I know, but the thing is, I review independently developed games. I don't have all the time in the world to play those AAA titles. I have Destiny, which I played a little bit of and never came back. Witcher 3, which I played a good chunk of, and I haven't been able to get back. Dragon Age Inquisition, I played a good chunk of that, and I've never been able to go back. Master Chief, the Master Chief Collection, I dabbled in a little bit of every single one of those games, and
now we get Halo 5 when that comes out.
And Halo 5 has already been pre-ordered, and I'll play a little bit of that.
Nice.
Actually, I'll be playing a lot of Halo 5 simply because my dad has it, and he'll call me up on the phone and go, "Hey, let's play some Halo." I'll be like, "All right, cool," because that's usually how it goes.
That's your bonding time with your dad. I like it. I can't imagine trying to play Halo with my dad.
The sad thing is my dad probably can dance circles around me when it comes to Halo. My dad's an FPSer. I don't know what happened. He just one day woke up and he's playing all the Gears of War, like the maximum difficulty, all the Halos at maximum difficulty, but he doesn't really like the Call of Duties.
Does he play online against other noobs?
I don't know if he actually plays online. Actually, I don't think he does play online because he was trying to set up something, and he's like, "I don't know what my Xbox Live name is." My dad, did you ever set one up? I don't know.
Oh.
So he didn't have one set up, so I don't think he actually played online. I think it was he just played like friend games, like he just played against me.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to know why they do not have the first one, at least on PlayStation Network, to rent or buy digitally. It probably has to do with
the first one. What?
The Ni no Kuni.
Oh, right.
It probably has to do with rights. I'm pretty sure that it's basically a 50-50 split between Level 5 and Studio Ghibli. And I don't know how that would work. And also, you have to understand that it's not going to be a straight transition. There's going to be the need of some sort of emulation to bring it to the PlayStation 4, or maybe to the PlayStation 4. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about when you're saying PlayStation Network. Though if it was on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Network, I don't know. I think it has to do with the rights.
But it seems like a game you rather enjoyed.
Oh, absolutely. I loved it. It was a great game. Solid game. I have a very, very soft spot for
it looks like very
Ghibli.
Japanese RPG-ish.
Yes. Well, the studio behind all the animation is a world-renowned anime studio.
Right on.
So
I never played it. I don't really play JRPGs.
I don't usually, but when something like that comes across, I have to.
Fair enough. I can understand that. Are there independently developed JRPGs out there?
I'm sure there are. I think that they're probably localized to the Asian market.
Well, that's unfortunate. It'd be hard to play it in Japanese since you probably can't speak.
Well, I know that there's quite a few RPGs that Ultra Confusion has gained, I guess, review access to. It's just really complicated to review an RPG when you have a lot of other games coming in. Just to give you an idea of what Ultra Confusion, which is basically the Ultra Confusion reviewing arm, which is basically me, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And when you're talking about a JRPG, you're talking about a 40-hour game. So that makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Zealeus, your favorite genre? And what are you current? Well, we already know you're playing Final Fantasy 14, so let's just skip that part.
The genre I keep on going back to is MMOs. It's my genre. It's what I play. But I also play hack and slashers and 4-turn strategy games like Civilizations. So that's mostly what I play.
Did you ever try? A couple episodes ago, one of the audience members recommended a game called Battle Cats. Did you ever get a chance to play that?
Yes, I did. It was a fun game. It's like, I don't know. It's not tower defense, but it's like that style where you still have to like hold off the hordes incoming to you and then fight them at the same time. So basically you have 2 castles, 1 on each side, and then basically you build cats and you attack each other and you try to destroy their tower. That's the gist. It was a fun game. I played it. But it's one of those games that just gets a tad bit repetitive after so many levels, and I was like, okay. But for the few hours I played it, it was a fun game.
Well, one of the things about that type of game, because the thing is, Battle Cats, I think it's for iOS and Android.
Mm-hmm.
I got it for the Android device, and I also reviewed it. I think I gave it a 7.9. One of their style decisions was that they allowed for only finite playability at one time. They had an energy pool that, of course, replenished over time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not like you could just sit there and grind forever.
This is true. And a game like that does require grinding.
Absolutely.
But that's what a lot of the microtransaction games do.
Right.
Is they require grinding at some point in the game, but then when you get to that point, you have that finite amount of power. I think it was last week, actually, an audience member asked, at what point do you get kind of turned off from games? And I think that's probably for me in a lot of microtransaction games, that's that point where I get turned off. Where you have to start kind of grinding, which in of itself isn't a terrible thing, but when you can't grind like you're supposed to be able to because you're cut off by energy points.
Right.
And so that, I think, to me, is a big turnoff in those games. The other thing that drove me back from a game, two things about the game I wouldn't say hate, but that drove me a little bit nuts. One were knowing what the actual stats of my characters were.
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Yes.
Okay, so you have these different cats that you have to, they'll say, like, they're strong against red, or they have lots of...
What the hell does that mean?
Yes!
What does that mean?
And, they have lots of hit points. So you never know, or, like, you can level up your characters, which is finding great. But you never know. What is leveling up my character actually doing? Is it giving more attack? I don't know. Is it giving more defense? You don't know what you're actually getting out of it. Have they capped out the character? I don't know. And that's all your level ups don't actually give you any stats, which was really frustrating. The second thing that drove me nuts about the game is, so eventually all of your enemies, your characters and their enemies are going to clash against each other. When they clash against each other with the style, the artwork, you can't tell how many people are actually out there. Because it just becomes one big blob of whiteness with some outlines. So that was my 2 main issues with the game. The biggest is the second one with the art style, I can forgive that. Not being able to see how many are out there, that I can get over.
Yeah.
But the lack of stats was just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, I'll level this up. The only thing that I was able to, the only stats that I was able to, obtain was when you increase the amount of maximum money you can make. That was the only real stat, or you can increase the amount of experience you gain at the end of the level.
And that was it. But even then, you have, say, increase the amount of gold that you produce per second.
Right.
Again, you don't know what... You couldn't do any, kind of cost-benefit analysis because you didn't know how fast were you actually increasing your rate.
Well, the only way for you to figure that one out is to actually play a level.
And even then, it was just kind of eyeballing.
You could definitely tell it was faster.
We can tell,
And that the maximum was higher.
you're right, yes. But it was just kind of a general lack of any kind of numbers at all. Was like, really?
Yeah.
So that was probably for me the most annoying thing.
So, Say My Name says, do either of you have a DS or 3DS, etc.? If so, have you ever played any of the Dragon Quest games? And if so, should I try and get it?
I mean, yes. The last gaming console I owned, handheld, was the original Game Boy.
I have a DS. I have a DSL or DSi. I have a DS. I have a DSi, and I have a 3DS. I tended to like shy away from the heavy RPGs on the handheld. I don't know why. You would think that would be better for me. So I can't really tell you if I've heard that the Dragon Quest games are solid wherever they land. They're solid games. But when I play my 3DS or my DS, it's all about Professor Layton or that type of game. Because I love Professor
Which
Layton.
I played and I rather greatly enjoyed too.
Indeed.
I played it at PAX. We were
Yes.
waiting in lines.
Yes.
Many lines.
The lines.
Lots of lines. There were lines at Dragon Con too. We missed seeing Karen Gilliland because the line was too long. It was terrible.
Sad time. Sad time. So, if y'all have any more topics, please throw them our way. Otherwise, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you another trailer for an independently developed game. This one actually took 6 years to make.
That's a long time to develop an independently developed game, bro.
So one of the biggest issues was they had in team turmoil and all that stuff. They finally made the
drama.
game. This game is based off of a folk tale or folklore for a Western European nation.
Cool.
Thank you. So without further ado, I'm going to show you this trailer. It's a game called Cross of the Dutchman. It's out right now on Steam. It's finally out after 6 years. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like Duke Nukem.
No, it's not 11 years in the making. It's 6. Good Lord. All right, so here you go. Here is the Cross of the Dutchman. Have you played Boom Beach?
Sound.
God dang it. No, I have not played Boom Beach.
Yes, my lord.
Right now, you can get it on Steam
With graphics straight out of World of Warcraft.
for $8.99, or if you want the deluxe edition, which I think includes the soundtrack, it's $10.99. Apparently, some of these battles actually have over 100 units on the screen at the same time, which to me would be a little bit crazy. I don't know if you're able to control all of them. If you are, that is just batshit crazy. To be honest with you.
So it's a hack and slash game.
Yes, with strategy elements, because you're going to be building an army at the same time.
Interesting. Huh. Sounds interesting, actually.
So there you go. All right, Boom Beach. No, I have not, but I'm sure I could.
Never heard of Boom Beach. I'm going to be honest.
I feel like I should have heard of it by now. Let me check it out. But while I do that, Zealeus, what was your favorite part about Dragon Con?
So Sunday night, there was a band called I don't know how to say their stupid name. Okay, so a little backstory.
Oh, Boom Beach is by Supercell. I think I've actually hasn't this been on TV? Hasn't there been actual commercials for this game? I think there has. Continue.
So many years ago, I got into Irish and Celtic music, style music, and the main reason is there's this podcast out called the Irish Music Podcast, which is awesome. And the guy who actually puts it together, his name is Mark Gunn. And so Mark Gunn, he puts together a podcast, and it turns out that his band was playing at Dragon Con. I was like, hey, that's awesome. It turns out that the show that they were playing on Saturday night, which I didn't make because I was too late, was Drinking Songs with Serenity, or Serenity Drinking Songs. It's like, huh. Sunday night, though, was Hobbit Drinking Songs, was the show that he put on with his band, and it was phenomenal. But what really made it something awesome, so...
PG-4?
What? Oh. So what they did at the end is they brought on this female singer, and basically there's a song from the Lord of the Rings called I See Fire, and they sang it together, and like everybody, the lead singer, like the actual Celtic band was not dressed up, but people from like the audience came up. I'm assuming they were plants, but they're all dressed like from Lord of the Rings, like they're dressed like Galadriel and the Hobbit and the dwarfs from the actual Lord of the Rings, and they came up there and sang it, and it was phenomenal. I mean, it was amazing, and it was spectacular. So that was really fun, and the parade on Saturday morning was really fun too. So right downtown on Peachtree Street, it's about an hour and a half parade, which is totally free, with lots of costumes and cosplay, obviously, half of which was probably from Star Wars.
Really?
Oh
yeah, I mean, Star Wars is the hot topic right now. What the hell am I talking about? I go to Target, they have the special, like, what the hell you call it? The window decals that said, use the Force to open the door.
And lots of cosplays. I mean, even just see. So Dragon Con, it's not cheap, but even if you just watch, you can just sit there and watch for free. Just people watch. They had a lot of. Probably the one that stood out to me the most that they had was I forget her name now, but the lead character from Mad Max. What's her name? It's Charlie Thora, whatever her name is. I know it. Theron, thank you. But I can't remember her name now. There were a lot of her. And Green Arrow. Good Lord. So many Green Arrows.
Blaze Master.
Hello.
I am cautiously optimistic that this movie is going to be phenomenally amazing.
Here's the bright thing. They set the bar so damn low.
It's Furisa.
Thank you. Yeah. They set the bar so low.
Well, after the debacle with Jar Jar Binks.
Yes. I mean, the bar's been so low.
That's true.
That it's hard not to do much better, let's be honest. And hopefully the big problem with the actors is freaking Anakin was terrible.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he was a terrible actor, and I was not a big fan of Natalie Portman either. In general, she's not a bad actress, but I don't feel like she did that great in Star Wars either. So to me, I mean, yes, the screenwriting needed help. I will give you that. But the overall acting from the lead actors in the actual Star Wars, I felt was subpar, which did not help the cause at all.
No. Nakamoto, I have not been wearing this shirt all week. Though when I put it on for this show, I was like, did I wear this last week? I'm pretty sure it did. Ah, screw it. So,
ladies and gentlemen, he really just stays in his basement. And he also these cover stories about having a family and having a job. Nope, we're really in his mother's basement, and he just sits down here drinking Mountain Dew all day.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of T-shirts, but it's one of those deals where it's the last clean shirt. So the one that just came out of the dryer that's sitting on the top of all my T-shirt pile is what I'm going to be wearing.
And yes, what kid? There is the best scene is there's a flaming guitarist.
No, we're talking.
Yeah.
No, that's
about that movie.
That's Mad Max. We're talking about Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars, whatever. God. I was still thinking of Furiosa.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry, I don't think Star Wars is a good movie. So
they're going to be both phenomenal. I think are you guys looking forward to the Dreams game shown at E3? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm completely blanking out on what Dreams is off the top of my head.
I have no idea.
T-shirt pile. What kind of savage are you?
I have a dresser.
I have a dresser that contains T-shirts. And what happens is those T-shirts just get haphazardly thrown into said drawer. And when it comes time for me to put on a shirt, it's literally, it's usually 5 T-shirts sitting at the top, and I just grab one. I'm like, oh, I'll grab the gray one. Because...
# real first world problems.
Yeah, seriously.
What T-shirt do I choose today, man? It's so tough. I have to make sure it matches my chucks.
To go back to basically everything that's shown at E3, I don't think that Alter Confusion is going to be completely focused on unless we like catch like a side glance of it. I will, you know what? I will look at a trailer of it after this, just so that I can be aware of it. I will write that down right now.
Yeah, I don't really pay. The last 2 games I bought new were Diablo 3 and frickin' WildStar. So I'm so burnt from buying new games off the shelf that I really don't pay attention to new games until they become like established and people know that they're good. So I don't really pay attention. I'm like, whatever. Yes, that was very sad news, Campbell.
Yeah.
Wes Craven has passed away.
Was it brain cancer? I think it was brain cancer. That is really sad.
And Scream was Scream is probably my first like video obsession ever.
Yes.
My buddy Coughlin and I, we probably saw it a dozen times, and we'd sit there being able to recite it word for word for each other once upon a time. Namely because we were huge into other horror movies, and anybody who's seen Scream knows Scream is basically a satire of horror movies, but very well done. So yes, it is sad to have somebody like him die, and then and Last House on the Left, which is
the original.
The original Last House on the Left was, I don't know if horror is exactly the word I would use for it. I don't know. It's one of those movies where you watch it and it's like, I feel dirty. That's how I describe it. So I felt dirty watching Last House on the Left. Right. And not in a good way. Yeah.
What are your opinions on Bitcoin, the blockchain, and cryptocurrency?
Okay, I know what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is, but I don't know what you mean by blockchain.
I'm assuming it's probably in the same vein. I've never really understood the Bitcoin thing. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really look into it, but I have I've got enough trouble trying to figure out my own currency to even fathom or try to figure out any other currency.
See, the place I know most of Bitcoin is, okay, so I'm an assistant administrator at work. Thankfully, as far as Bitcoin goes, it's on the Mac side, because what happened basically any enterprise industry that has Windows machines is it's called crypto locker. And basically what happens if you have any kind of Windows file shares, and eventually, unless you have it super locked down, you're going to get what's called crypto locker, which basically I still have these on.
I don't know. I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to say anything.
Which basically locks down your entire Windows file share server unless you pay cryptocurrency, because it's, in theory, anonymous, to basically get a unlock hash / passcode, whatever, to unlock your file share. So that's what I know about Bitcoins. It's used for mostly nefarious purposes. Of course, like everything, I'm sure there's legitimate purposes for using cryptocurrency. But most of my knowledge of crypto and Bitcoin is it's used for less than above board occupations. Let's just say that. Well,
imaginary money like Linden dollars.
I don't know. Bitcoin's totally real. It's a real thing. I mean,
well, yeah, it is. But at the same time, but it's you're not going to be. It's not a physical property.
Well, that's money in general. I mean, when was the last time
I get my dollars?
When was the last time you cashed a paycheck at the bank? It goes into some magical pile of bits and ones and zeros at your Wells Fargo bank across the street.
Linden dollars are for Second Life.
So,
oh man, Second Life is actually one of those like pioneer and frontier type of deals, because it always brings up weird ass like topics, like with that kind of currency. Or do you actually own the property that you bought in Second Life? I've heard of crypto locker before, but I don't think that's an accurate assessment of Bitcoin. My uncle works for a major bank and has told me they are putting a lot of research into researching Bitcoins.
Well, I think absolutely. If you're any kind of financial institution, you have to know about Bitcoin, because it's definitely becoming a relevant part of the economic sector.
It's accepted currency in certain circles.
It's just most of my relevant experience with Bitcoin is with crypto locker. So that's kind of been my personal experience with the Bitcoin. Like I said, not every single use of Bitcoin is going to be for nefarious purposes, but it's something that can definitely be utilized much more readily than real cash for people performing less than happy services to others.
Happy-go-lucky service.
Yes. So it's there. And it's also still a matter of figuring out how the heck are they going to regulate Bitcoin, because you know it's going to become more regulated as time goes on. So it's definitely something.
If you have a Bitcoin, I don't, you could sell one right now on the market for like $250.
And if you actually got in the Bitcoin craze, like when it first started, like a couple of years ago, you could become very rich on it. Or if you somehow manage to trash your Bitcoins and lose your Bitcoins, then like real money, you lose all your money.
I've had my identity stolen and my credit card stolen a couple times thanks to internet connected marketplaces. So I'm very hesitant to have any kind of digital currency out there. I'm just going to buy the gift card. The gift cards.
But that's one of the reasons people also like Bitcoin, though, is because there is that anonymity aspect attached to Bitcoin. So in terms of your identity stolen, like say you're paying an online site, is if you can pay online in Bitcoin instead of, like you said, your real credit card, if gift cards are not accepted at said website. If I can pay in Bitcoin instead of my credit card, then that Bitcoin being accepted by then, it detaches my personal affiliation with that website. So there is that.
Cash is more anonymous than Bitcoin.
Well, cash trumps all, but you also can't really pay for internet websites. Say you're paying for a service in an online service that you don't want people to know about. I can't really pay for that internet service in cash.
Was it Ashley Madison or whatever?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I rest my case. So, Ashley Madison, and that's, I think, a relevant case of where Bitcoin is becoming more popular, is with all these hacks that are only going to continue for websites in terms of their databases. If you can pay for that service in Bitcoin, and Ashley Madison, or whatever website you're using, gets hacked, guess what? Now your name is not attached to it because you paid in Bitcoin.
That paper trail is.
In theory. Unless you're like the NSA and you have a super cray computer hiding under a nuclear bunker. And you can crack 256-bit hashes, but that's a whole other topic for another time. Yeah. Basically, never truly anonymous, even if you think you are.
That's true. I'll stay with my cash of gold doubloons.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely. If I had a cash of gold doubloons, I too would stick with that. Unfortunately, I'm a little short on the doubloons.
Well, maybe, you know, Bitcoin, it's...
Once again, it's
it can be used for both illegitimate... You hear more about it in illegitimate services because that's...
black, gray market.
Because that's what black markets are accepting predominantly are your Bitcoins. Because it's easier for them to accept Bitcoins without having a paper trail attached. Which, as we're trying to say, does not necessarily mean it's only used for illicit purposes. Yes.
It would be pretty worthless currency if you couldn't buy drugs with it. We don't condone buying drugs.
Unless you live in Colorado. Because then it's legal. Well, certain drugs.
Certain drugs.
In Colorado. Which we are not. Or
we're not in Colorado.
Damn it. So,
anyways.
Yes. I wonder if Steam extends Bitcoin.
I have no idea. I know that I have... My Steam wallet continues to grow as I sell my duplicate Steam cards.
Yes, all my Steam cards.
Yeah. Bitcoin would work well with Twitch.
I think it'd have a lot of overlap in audience, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Because most of your Bitcoin people are going to be more tech savvy, and typically Twitch watchers / streamers are more Brit savvy, so I can see that. I can also see it like, so Charlie, today you were trying out DraftKings.
Alpha Draft.
Alpha Draft. So something like that where you're doing any kind of online gambling having to do with exchanging money online, I can see Bitcoin there also.
I'm still a little bit... the whole online fantasy drafting for real money, I'm still a little hazy on that and how they find the loopholes or whatever.
Well, I kind of wonder, because I don't know much about that, but I wonder if it'll become like poker stars.
Well, so
where they're kind of skirting the law until one day the U.S. government's like, screw y'all, we're coming down with that ban.
So Alpha Draft, you put money in, basically, there's like free tournaments and then there's like paid tournaments. Sometimes you pay $250 entry fee.
Ooh.
But you have the potential of making big money. And from my understanding, it goes through PayPal to pay you if you try to pull the money out, and it has to be the bare minimum is $10.
And PayPal scares the hell out of me because they can lock your account down for basically literally any reason they want, and there you have basically zero recourse. I hate PayPal. I hate PayPal.
I use PayPal a lot.
I hate PayPal. Everything about PayPal. But
I use PayPal a lot for like charities and stuff.
Oh, there you go. And I just pay them in Bitcoins.
So, real quick, for those of you out there who don't know what Alpha Draft is basically the online quick fantasy esports and it's not really a draft. Basically, you get amount of
Points.
you get funny money points, and the players that you can draft onto your team. They all have a point value assigned to them, and so you can put together whatever you want to, as long as it's underneath this cap of 50,000 funny money.
So, like, presumably, say you fill 10 slots, I assume like the best Uber players were say 20,000 points.
So because Smite is something that Zealeus and I both know. Once again, the Smite World Championship is happening in January. Definitely go. I still need to buy my ticket.
Cobb Energy Center.
Cobb Energy Center.
And Cobb.
But you have your 5 positions plus a team, and each one has an amount of money associated with it. I think the most someone was worth was like 9,600. Which is a huge chunk of your money.
So probably somebody like MC South would be worth like the most.
He was very close to the top.
Or very close. Or players you know are going to get a lot of KDs are going to be near the top.
And of course, the way that this works is it's like small little tournaments that you get points for assists, kills. Negative points for deaths. For Smite, you gain money for the amount of gold you get. For the team that you selected, you get points for the amount of gold furies or fire giants, towers, and phoenixes, and of course titans that you knock down.
Of course, and of course winning.
Of course,
because that's the whole point.
Which I've done all the free ones, and I've won 10 cents.
Yay! You can afford nothing.
No, now I can put those 10 cents towards a paid entry.
You can do a paid entry for 10 cents? Mm-hmm. Nice.
They started a penny all the way up to, I think it's like $250.
Well, that's how people get to the World Series of Poker. Mm-hmm. Start a dollar pool and they win like 80,000 tournaments to get to the World Series of Poker. But hey, why not?
Right.
Somebody's going to have enough luck to do it eventually.
Now, okay, so I just made mention of charities that I pay through PayPal. All the Confusion is participating in Extra Life. Extra Life, of course, is the 24-hour game-a-thon, and that is happening November 7th, I think. I'm pretty sure it's November 7th.
Sounds about right.
Myself, I will be playing the full 24 hours. Zealeus will be playing...
So I will show up with my PC and do games. I don't know how long.
Now, of course, as part of this game-a-thon, it's also a fundraiser. I know that Extra Life recommends that everyone out there say, reach out to people and ask them to donate $25. I'm going to be honest. I've been a gamer on a budget for many, many, many years, so I know that people don't have $25. Charities are an amazing thing, and I'm not going to try to push anyone into donating $25 to
50, brother. 50's where it's at.
50, whatever. If you have any amount of money that you could donate towards this event, we would love for you to donate to Alter Confusion. If you have a friend who's doing it, then donate it to them. We are personally playing for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So
no matter how much you donate, the bottom line is it all goes towards a good cause.
Exactly.
No matter how small or how big, it's all going to a good pot of money.
Exactly. It helps all these wonderful Miracle Network hospitals. Mm-hmm. So
give kids a little bit of enjoyment while they're in the hospital.
That, and of course, I grew up in Atlanta, so I've definitely spent quite a lot of time in places that were under the wings of the Children's Healthcare Atlanta,
Mhm.
as well as all my family. So,
Yep.
huge proponent of that.
Rock on.
Now I know that that we're getting close to the end of our show, so I do want to take just 1 second and give you all the information about how you can become more involved with Ultra Confusion. We have a Twitter page, we have a Facebook page, of course we have the Twitch, we have YouTube.
Where's your thing with all the stuff, dude?
I'm about to do it right now.
Come on, get on it,
So
bro.
here is all of our information. So
Oh, look at that.
So
Website at ultraconfusion.com. Facebook at ultraconfusion. Twitter at ultraconfusio.
yes, it's Ultra Confusion without the end.
Yes.
The reason why it does not have an end is that it would literally blow up the internet.
What?
And it's it's actually past the maximum length.
That's crazy talk.
YouTube, of course, Ultra Confusion LLC, and then Twitch, which
we're on
is what we're on right now.
supposedly.
For the YouTube channel, we have, not only do we have these Thursday night hangouts, which of course if you've come in late to our show, you can always catch up a little bit. Once I've basically rendered it and thrown it online, you can catch up on all of our past Thursday night hangouts. I've done a bunch of quick looks. Any update on streaming on YouTube? We are going to try to do a little bit of game streaming on YouTube. I'll probably do that in the very, very near future. I'll try to play a couple games, see how the streaming is, and then hopefully, we could maybe, if we have the bandwidth here, maybe throw some Twitch and some YouTube
Live on the edge.
gaming on at the same time.
Maximum overload.
Holy crap!
Does Twitch have, or not Twitch, does XSplit have Google streaming in it?
I don't think so. I'll have to do some research about that too.
Yeah.
That's
It's
another
a good thing to look into.
Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, who have just for the first time started watching the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout, or you are a regular now at the Thursday Night Hangouts, we of course have been running a contest where every single week we have been giving away a prize. Last week, a certain individual got the MomoCon 4-day pass to MomoCon. We do, of course, have a couple other prizes still up for contention.
Mm-hmm.
We have the full pass for AndoCon. We have the full pass for Canuga. We have a 3-month subscription to the Indie Box. Let me just show you what the Indie Box. Come here, you stupid box.
Yes, I must see.
All right, Indie Box right here. Indie Box is it's basically a loot crate. It comes in every single month, and you get a brand new, independently developed game. You get an exclusive box, and then a bunch of collectible items, stickers. I've got a scroll that's got the entire map for the game. This is the USB version. The USB thing. Soundtrack is basically a must for every single one of these, and then of course a mouse pad for this month's. There's always different stuff in every single month.
And this one is limited edition.
They're all limited edition.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you are interested in winning any of the stuff for Ultra Confusion, Nerdburger Games might be convinced to give away a free copy of Murders and Acquisitions once it gets published. We, of course, will be talking with the creator of Murders and Acquisitions, which is that wonderful gentleman right there, C. Campbell. We're going to try to get him on the show to give you a little bit of extra look at the art and whatnot about Murders and Acquisitions, which, of course, is a phenomenal game that we got to play at AndoCon. But anyways, if you're interested in winning any of the prizes that Ultra Confusion has got offered up, I know that there are some people like, oh, man, but the MomoCon pass is gone, so I'm not interested. Here's a little secret. Push comes to shove, if you are the winner, we might be able to get you the MomoCon pass. Maybe. But in order to be eligible, first of all, he's not eligible, so don't worry about him.
I'm worried, bro. I'm worried.
But if you want to be eligible, what you need to do is, I'm going to throw this up once again. You need to comment, be active in one of these different arenas: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our website. Comment, like us.
Let us know you're there.
Yeah, let us know you're there and that you want to support the independent video games out there. And we will enter you into the pot for the potential of winning. And don't just comment with comment.
Or first.
Yes, that too. Whacked Kid 47 learned that the hard way. Because he literally did comment. He commented comment.
Wah, wah.
So, just saying.
A little bit of thought.
We you know.
Use those brain cells.
Of course, on any of those, the YouTube, the YouTube channel, subscribe, Twitter, follow, like on Facebook, and of course, Twitch is
Heart.
I think it's just like, or maybe it's a subscribe. I can't remember.
I think it's like.
Okay. Anyways, so if you like what you see here, what are you talking about? If you like what you see, or you want to know more about all of the games that we are streaming, doing quick looks at, reviewing, just hit us up on any of those channels. If you want to help with Ultra Fusion, help us do reviews, news articles. You want to help spread the love.
You want to help Charlie ramble.
Hit us up through any of those channels. Everything goes to me, and we could chit-chat offline. So we have, unfortunately, reached the end of our show, which is really, really sad.
The end is nigh.
It's really, really sad because I know that I thoroughly enjoy talking to you, the audience, and, of course, coming up with interesting topics.
Which reminds me of one last thing.
Yes,
Since the end is nigh.
Okay.
Yes, my favorite part of AndoCon.
Yes.
Not AndoCon. DragonCon.
Yeah.
I think my favorite cosplay, somebody was walking around as one of the murderers from Westeros, and they had a giant sign, spoilers, everybody dies, / spoilers. I thought that was awesome.
Indeed, indeed. And yes, Mr. Campbell, spread the nerd. So anyways, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure to give you this past hour and 15 minutes plus of our show, and I hope that you tell your friends, and of course, like us on all of our stuff. Here it is once again, because I know that you're dying for information one more time!
Or you could just take a screenshot.
Of course, take a screenshot, of course. Just find one of these, and you can find all of them there. And actually, if you're on Twitch right now, if you hit I think it's our channel page, you'll have all that information as well. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week for another crazy, amazing Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.